If your mass on the earth is 60 kgs, then your weight on the earth will be dash. Another thing.
600.
Very good. 600 newtons. Remember that whatever is your mass on the earth, you have to multiply it with 9.8, or you can multiply it with 10, and that many newtons will be your weight on the earth, isn't it? So suppose if I give you your mass on the earth is 50, what is your weight on the earth? Yeah,
500 newtons.
Exactly.
500 newtons. If your weight on earth is 60 newtons, then your weight on the moon will be?
Your weight on the earth is already given to you. How much is your weight? 60 newton. Weight is already given. If you want to find your weight on the moon, so I told you in the last class, whatever is your weight on the earth, on the moon it will be lesser. But how much lesser? 1/6. 1/6. So Aparna, if your weight on the earth is 60 newtons, how much will be your weight on the moon?
10 newtons.
Very good, very nice. Okay, Aparna, the same question. Suppose your mass on the earth is 60 kgs. What is your mass on the moon? Now I'm only asking mass.
Not 60 kg.
60 kgs, exactly. Wherever you go, the mass is going to be same, isn't it? But what will change? Your weight will change.
If your weight on moon is 60 newtons, then your weight on earth will be?
If your weight on the, now he's given you weight on the moon, which is 60 newtons. What is going to be your weight on the earth?
360 newtons.
Multiplied by 6. Okay, he has multiplied it by 6 because whatever weight you have on the moon, on the earth you will have 6 times that weight. So whatever weight you have on the earth, your weight on the moon will be 1/6. If you have any doubts in mass and weight, do let me know. Next, what we are going to touch upon is thrust and pressure.
Force by area.
Very good. Force by area. So we are just going to roughly touch upon thrust and pressure. So this is very clear. Any force which is applied in the perpendicular direction is thrust. For example, suppose you are standing and I push you from the back. So what I use my hand to push you, isn't it? So as far as your body is concerned, my hand is perpendicular to your body and I'm pushing you. So that force becomes any thrust. That force becomes the thrust. However, what is pressure? Pressure is force applied per unit area. When we talk about area, then it is called pressure. As long as we do not talk about pressure, it just becomes thrust. Isn't it? This much is clear? Okay, let's move to this. Suppose this blue color, platform that you see is actually a sand surface. So, two students of the same mass, they're sitting on the sand surface. One student is standing, the other student is just lying down and enjoying the ambience and reading a book. Okay. So now, whom do you think will be able to dig himself down in the sand? The person who's standing will be able to go deep in the sand, or the person who's lying on the sand surface will be able to go deep in the sand?
Who's standing?
Yes, who is standing? Now understand why is because the person who's standing, let's say their mass is 30 kgs, both are 30 kgs. So if this person is standing, they will have equal force, means the force with which this person is pulled towards the earth and the force with which this person is pulled towards the earth is going to be the same. Why? Because the mass of both the boys are same. The weight is the same. Both are 30 kgs. So why is he not digging down is because this entire force, the entire weight of his body is only concentrated on his foot here, only in this much area, small area. So if you use the formula force is equal to pressure is equal to force upon area, if you use that formula, pressure is equal to force upon area. Force is the same in both the case, but in this case the area is very small. So now you know, when the area is very small, then the pressure is going to be very high, because area and pressure are inversely proportional to each other. So lesser the area, more the pressure, and if the pressure is going to be more, he is going to be digging down in the sand. Whereas look at this fellow, he is lying. So the same 30 kgs, the same 300 newtons of weight is actually distributed on the entire surface. See this large surface, full body. So the same weight is now divided, is now spread over such a large area. So area becomes large. When the area becomes large, pressure is going to be very small. So eventually both these boys are applying the same force. The pressure is going to be very less in the second case where he is lying down, but the pressure is going to be more in the first case when he is standing. That's why if the pressure is more, he will be digging down and he can see his footprints. But when he is lying down, there is hardly any print on the sand. He will not be digging down. That is the reason. So are you all able to understand how pressure plays an important role? Is it
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, is it clear to you? So
Yes,
it is.
ma'am.
So look at this, force can be same, but still the pressure can be different, because pressure also depends on area. Pressure also depends on area. So this is what we talked about. What is the unit of pressure? You can write Newton per meter square. Why Newton? Because look at this, force is Newton upon area is meter square, or you can say Pascal. Pascal is also the unit. Generally we use Pascal when we talk about atmospheric pressure. Some more examples. Suppose you take your palm, okay, and then you use a pen. So on the left hand side here, I have used a pen, and the pointed nib of the pen you're trying to dig inside your hand. On the other hand, what you do is take a pencil and take the other end, that is the broad end of the pencil, and try to dig your hand. Which one do you think is going to hurt you more?
Ma'am, pens.
Pen nib.
Yeah,
Pen nib.
the pen nib is going to hurt you more. Why? Because let's say you are applying the same force. You are applying 10 newtons of force in both the case. Even while you are trying to touch this nib of the pen to your hand, and also in the second case, the force that you are applying is 10 newtons. But what is different here? The area of this nib which is in contact with your hand is very small, just a tip area. Okay, this is very small. When the area is very small, so pressure becomes very large. Okay, so when the pressure becomes very large, then it will hurt your hand. But on the other hand, if you see this area which is in contact with your hand is very broad. When the area which is in contact is broad, then the pressure is going to be very, very less. That's why it will not hurt you as much as this will hurt you. The first case will hurt you. So I hope this is also clear. Let's now move forward and move on to discussing something very, very interesting about liquids. Okay, you all know what are liquids? Liquids are anything which can float. Okay, fluids are anything which can flow, are called fluids, liquids. So now when you go inside water, you generally feel very light, isn't it? You generally feel very light. Why is that you feel light? That means there is something which is actually pushing you up. Okay, another thing is when you jump inside water, automatically you come on the surface. Same is the case with huge ships. Have you seen these ships which are made up of metal and steel and very heavy and huge ships? How can they float on water? How are they able to float? I understand paper boat that can float on water, but how about those heavy huge ships?
Ma'am, water has upward force.
Water has upward force. Very good. That is quite logical. Because every time you jump in water, you are always coming on the first surface. That means water must be pushing you from inside. It must be having some upward force, isn't it? So what is exactly that? That is what we are going to learn here. Now we are going to talk about the concept of buoyancy. What is buoyancy? Most of the liquids have some upward force. Now what is that upward force? Suppose you take a tumbler and fill that tumbler with water and put a ball here, a plastic ball. So now let's say the ball has got some mass, maybe in grams. Find the plastic ball in grams. So this ball, because it has some mass, it will always be pulled with some force towards the earth, F. So F is downwards, or you can say gravity. Gravity will be pulling the ball downwards. But this water will have another force which will be acting on this ball, and that force is called as upthrust. Upthrust. Upthrust means upward thrust, upward force. So any object, if it is floating in water, if it is inside water, if it is completely submerged in water, submerged means completely inside water, it will always have two types of force. One type of force is the gravity, which is always acting downwards. Another type of force is the upthrust. This upthrust is called as buoyant force. Suppose instead of this plastic ball, you take a metal ball. Even if it goes down, it still has two forces. One is the gravity, another is the upthrust. Okay? Now suppose this is the metal ball I have taken. So look at this. Plastic ball was floating on the water. So the gravity was less. Why is the gravity less in case of plastic ball? Is because its mass is less. That's why. So this force of gravity is less. But the upward force is more. It is a slightly heavier ball. Let's say cork ball, or slightly heavier than this ball. Now look what happens. It is half in the water, half above the water. Look at this. Now the gravity has increased. The force of gravity has increased. Why? Because the mass of the ball has become more now. So more the mass, more the force of gravity with which it is pulled downwards. Thrust is still the same. Why should the upthrust be same? Is because the amount of water here and the amount of water in the second tumbler is the same. So as long as the level of water is the same, the upthrust is going to be same. It is not going to change. Look at the third one. Again the level of water is same. So in all the three tumblers, you can see that the water level is the same. So if the water level is the same, the upthrust or the buoyant force is going to be the same. But what is different here? Look at this. This is a metal ball, the heaviest ball. If the mass of the ball is more, then the force of gravity is going to be even more. Why? Because mass has increased. So if mass has increased, the force of gravity will be much more as compared to the first two cases. So if the downward force, this gravity is more, so the ball is going to go down in all the three. So I have taken a bottle, and the first one is an empty bottle. So now the empty bottle will have the least weight. So the bottle is not going to go down, but the bottle is going to be floating on the surface of the water. It may not be standing like this, it may be just tilted, but it will still be floating on the surface of the water. Is because since the mass is less, so the force of gravity will be less, but the upthrust in this case is more, so it will be floating. In the next one, I have filled this bottle with some water. I have put some water in the bottle, or let's say some stones in the bottle. So the bottle has become slightly heavy. So look at this. Now in this case, the gravity has increased. Here the gravity was less. Here the force of gravity has increased. Why has it increased? Because the mass has become more. So now the upthrust and this force of gravity is the same. If both the forces are equal, then the bottle will be half inside water and half on the surface of the water. Now what I do in the third case, I fill this bottle with some more stones so as to make this bottle really heavy. When the weight of the bottle is more again, now look what happens. The force of gravity has again increased. Basically, what is this? What is this downward force? It is the force with which the bottle is pulled towards the surface of the earth, or you can say the weight of the bottle. Okay, so in the third case, the weight is more than the upthrust provided by the water. So this bottle will be sinking down in the water. Okay, this is a nail and this is a cork. Okay, now why is that? The iron nail, it will go down and will sink at the bottom of the tumbler. However, the thermocol or a piece of plastic or the cork, that always floats on the surface of the water. Why do you think this happens? Anybody?
Because the cork weight is less and the nail weight is more.
Okay, so Lavanya said it is the weight.
Ma'am, iron nail has sharp edge.
Okay, Rudran says it is because of the sharp edges that it sinks down.
Area.
Yes, it is some to do with density. Yes, so that is the correct term here. Density is what plays the major role. Density is mass upon volume. So if you calculate the mass upon volume of the nail, which is nothing but density of the nail, and if you calculate the density of the cork, you will find that the density of the cork is very, very less. The density of the cork is very, very less. If the density of the cork is less, it will flow. If the density of the nail is high, then it goes down in the water. Because these two things are floating in water only. So we have to compare these densities with the density of water. Now we have to compare the densities of water and the density of the cork. So if we compare water and cork, the density of the cork is less as compared to the density of the water. So cork is less denser, that's why it will float on water. But if you compare the density of water and the density of the nail, the density of the nail is much heavier than the density of the water. Archimedes principle. What does the Archimedes principle say? The Archimedes principle says that when a body is immersed fully or partially in a liquid, it experiences an upward force that is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by A. Okay, which means ये जो upthrust है, ये जो upward force है which is exerted by the water, this upward force is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the body. He is Archimedes, who came out with this beautiful principle. This principle clarifies all the doubts why the huge ships float on water, how to check the density of the milk, whether the milk is pure or it is not pure, or some amount of water is added in the liquid or not. So that lactometer device is also based on Archimedes principle. If you have any questions, you can let me know.